Welcome to our channel. Martin Luther King Jr., a life dedicated to justice. Early life and background. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. His father, Martin Luther King Sr., was a pastor, and his mother, Alberta Williams King, was a teacher. Raised in a middle-class family, King grew up in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood, a thriving African-American community. From an early age, King experienced the injustices of segregation. One formative incident occurred when a white playmate's parents prohibited their friendship, citing racial differences. This event marked the beginning of King's awareness of the racial divide in America. A gifted student, King skipped several grades and entered Morehouse College at the age of 15. Inspired by his father and the president of Morehouse, Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, he decided to follow a path in ministry, viewing it as a means to effect social change. Education and early influences. After graduating from Morehouse in 1948, King attended Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he stood out as a brilliant student and the class valedictorian. During this time, he was introduced to the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, which profoundly influenced his philosophy of nonviolent resistance. King furthered his education by pursuing a doctorate at Boston University. While in Boston, he met Coretta Scott, a talented musician and activist. The two married in 1953 and eventually had 4 children: Yolanda, Martin III, Dexter, and Bernice. The Montgomery bus boycott. King's leadership in the civil rights movement began in 1955 when Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a Montgomery, Alabama, bus. As a young pastor in the city, King was chosen to lead the Montgomery Improvement Association, which organized a bus boycott that lasted over a year. The boycott was a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement, showcasing the power of collective action and nonviolent protest. Despite threats, arrests, and violence, King remained steadfast. In 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional, marking a significant victory. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference. In 1957, King Co founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, to unite churches in the fight for civil rights. As president, he traveled extensively, delivering speeches and organizing protests. His message was simple yet profound: justice could only be achieved through love, nonviolence, and civil disobedience. The Birmingham Campaign. One of King's most notable campaigns occurred in Birmingham, Alabama, in 1963. Known as one of the most segregated cities in America, Birmingham became a battleground for the civil rights movement. King and the SCLC organized marches, sit-ins, and boycotts to challenge discriminatory laws. King was arrested during the protests and wrote his famous letter from Birmingham jail, a powerful defense of civil disobedience and a call to action for moderate white allies. The campaign ultimately led to desegregation agreements in Birmingham and increased national awareness of racial injustices. The March on Washington. On August 28, 1963, King delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Addressing a crowd of over 250,000 people at the Lincoln Memorial, King painted a vision of a racially integrated and harmonious America. The speech became a defining moment in American history, solidifying King's status as a symbol of hope and change. His words inspired millions and laid the groundwork for future civil rights legislation. The Civil Rights Act and Nobel Peace Prize. King's activism contributed to the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. That same year, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, becoming the youngest recipient at the time. He donated the prize money to further the civil rights movement. The Selma to Montgomery March. In 1965, King and the SCLC organized a voting rights campaign in Selma, Alabama. The marches from Selma to Montgomery highlighted the brutal resistance faced by African Americans in their struggle to vote. The events, particularly the violence on Bloody Sunday, galvanized public opinion and led to the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Expanding the fight. In the late 1960s, King broadened his focus to include economic justice and opposition to the Vietnam War. He launched the Poor People's Campaign, advocating for jobs, housing, and a fair minimum wage. However, this expansion of his activism drew criticism, even from some allies. King's outspoken stance on Vietnam alienated many, including political leaders who had supported civil rights legislation. Assassination. On April 4, 1968, King was assassinated while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. He had traveled to Memphis to support sanitation workers striking for better wages and working conditions. King's death sent shockwaves across the nation and the world. Riots erupted in cities across America as communities mourned the loss of a leader who had inspired so many to dream of a better future. Legacy. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy endures as a testament to the power of nonviolent resistance and the enduring fight for justice. His birthday was declared a national holiday in the United States, observed annually on the third Monday of January. King's teachings continue to inspire movements for social justice worldwide, proving that his dream remains alive in the hearts of those striving for equality. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on stories. See you next time.